Hey kids, today I'm going to talk to you about Christmas math, minus the southern accent. So what exactly is Christmas math? Well, Christmas math is the equation you use to figure out how much you need to get somebody during the holiday season. My family's been using Christmas math for years now. The equation is actually quite simple to follow. You see, if somebody spends X amount on me, then I should spend the same amount on them, or Y, plus or minus a given percent depending on how much thought I put into the gift. It's kind of like a iPod for an iPod type of thing. The problem with Christmas math is once you start bringing in other people outside of your normal circle of family and friends, the equation gets a lot more complicated. Just because you married somebody doesn't necessarily mean that I should be obligated to get that person a present equal to the value of the present that I gave you, being that you're a family member. But that doesn't mean I don't expect a present of equal or greater value to the gift that I was supposedly going to give you based on the amount of money that I would spend on a loved one or family member originally in my circle. But that's just the family equation of X should equal Y, give or take a certain percentage based on the amount of thought put into the gift. Friend gifts add a whole new complication to the problem. Some friends aren't aware that they're obligated under the rules of Christmas math to spend the same amount of money on you that you have spent on them, give or take plus or minus 20% depending upon the amount of thought put into the gift and how well you know that person. The problem with the friend quotient in Christmas math is that you don't know whether or not that person has actually purchased a gift for you. Or worse yet, having received a gift from said friend without having purchased one for them as well. But it is unseasonal for you to call those people up and ask them whether or not they're planning on actually purchasing you something. So I play it on the sly and have my wife call and ask those people what they've gotten me for Christmas so that they don't have an accidental gift overlap. That's easier than estimating the friend quotient in Christmas math, although not quite as reliable, because your loved ones aren't going to tell you exactly what the other person has given you, and they'll only give you a ballpark figure as far as the amount spent. And then of course there's the nostalgia algorithms. Now that I'm in my 30s, my family has decided to give me less expensive gifts from my past, items that hold a value in nostalgia as opposed to a monetary one. You see, an original Rock'em Sock'em robot or a game of life would hold more value than the refurbished newer versions that are available in stores today. The antiquity of the original piece adds value to the nostalgic factor, whereas a cheap knockoff of an original piece would not. The nostalgia algorithm can be altogether forgotten or amplified by how hard the object is to find. My older brother has used this to his advantage, procuring each of the Tickle Me Elmos before they've made it out to market. This year alone, the Tickle Me Elmo would have cost him $160 on the black market, whereas he got it for fair market value. But that meant checking Walmart's website every 10 minutes for the first 3 weeks in November. So what does all this math mean? Have the holidays lost all their charm? In this time of 360s, PS3s, and Wiis, we've lost sight of the fact that it used to be He-Man's, G.I. Joes, and My Little Ponies that made us happy. Keep in mind the Christmas math, but don't let it rule your pocketbook. Even the tightest of wads with a fair understanding of the person they're buying the gift for can have a Merry Christmas. Remembering the equations in Christmas math as well as the nostalgia algorithms throughout the year will help to make you a better planner. Watch the people that you usually spend the most money on throughout the year to see if they drop any hints about the things that they'd like to have. Those hints from the past allow you to make better judgments later on in the future. If a friend or a loved one unwraps a gift and it's a toy from their past, even though it may or may not be in mint condition, that gift will hold a higher value than something that you created today. New Year's is upon us, and with every new year comes a new set of resolutions. My only real resolution is to try to get more people to know who I am, and you guys can help. If you think I'm funny, or even kind of knowledgeable, just pass me on to a couple of your friends. Currently, I have a reader base of about 6 people. I'd like to amplify that to somewhere in the 3-digit range. So if one of your friends has an unanswerable question, or you think that something I've said is something worth passing on, then do so. Until then, remember that X should equal Y, give or take plus or minus 10% depending on how much thought you've put into the thing. And considering that this one has to do with math, I believe I've thunked all I can.